Hey guys, hey everyone, it is Old Man G here back again. I'm joined with Sean from Worldwide Red Show and Usman from Usman Talks United. Guys, how you doing?
Doing well, bro. How about yourself?
How you doing, G?
We're good. I'm good. I'm gonna put Twitter aside because Twitter right now is quite toxic. So but I'm positive because of Manchester United, because whatever you say, we are going into the weekend top of the league with a big game. I can't remember the time when we played Liverpool where it's actually been this big.
I'm trying to find Arsenal.
You're gonna have to continue this form. It's going to be a long while, man.
I'm getting old. I need some glasses so I can really look that far down the teams.
It's party time, though, isn't it? It's party time. You know,
it's party time.
Party time. Go. Oh, bro!
I wish he was in our team.
It is what it is, isn't it, guys? So it's good to see guys on. Like I said, first of all, like shout out to the channel. I think we're still waiting on bits, mos, and neeks, but guys, just shout out your channels, and then we're going to get stuck in.
Sure. Yeah, you can find me at obviously on football Twitter right below there, but also Worldwide Red Show here on the YouTube.
Yeah, he's a Yankee love to love, innit? Coach, where's his catchphrase?
The Yankee love to love, baby. I say that for Usman's channel.
No. Coach, you got to do the catchphrase. Obviously, myself, Usman Talks United, G and Sean always there as well, innit? So it's all loving it. Make sure you show them love as well.
Thanks to everyone who's obviously joining in the comments as well. Ashan Akhtar, thank you so much. Yes. You are top of the league. Thank you. Indiana as well is 21 coming. We're gonna get to that. These guys always late. Sorry, man. I don't know. It's African time, Asian time, American time, whatever time it is.
Bro,
man.
Asian time is not good, man. It's not a great combination here, man. So like, if I'll be late about
all of it combined, man. It's not great. Let's just get stuck into it, though. So first things first, before we can get into Liverpool, Burnley, man, Burnley. That was a ooh.
That's my laptop. I'm sorry, do apologize.
No, I think that's mine. I'll just Burnley.
We'll play Burnley. It's so good.
Burnley result. That was a grind. What do you guys think?
For me, I think that with Burnley, we know what we're going to get, and so it's always just how they like to play. They like to just sit back, put everyone behind the ball, and then eventually get you to foul them. So they can try to get a long ball or a free kick and score off of a header or some kind of nasty stuff. So just getting through games like that for me shows progression. Beating teams like that shows progression. And I have calmed down a little bit since Usman's channel because I was spouting that Roberto Carlos needs to come outside.
I know. I didn't.
I was a little out of control that time. But I will say this. I just want to know if I'm allowed to celebrate as someone who's been told I'm not allowed to celebrate because I'm sure people that hate Paul Pogba celebrated that goal. And so by their rationale, I'm just wondering if they celebrated that win. So I just want all of United fans to celebrate because that was the Pog boom heard around the football world the other day. And I'm just gassed to be on top.
Yes, love that. Just regarding the Pogba thing, look, end of the day, man, this is the problem with our fan base. There's too many bloody divisions. There's too many Martial. Look, if you know me, you know that I'm a huge Martial fan. But he's playing shocking at the moment. I'm not going to sit and praise him because I'm Martial FC. Like, it doesn't work like that. You're Manchester United, first and foremost, and these players are playing for the club. If someone's not playing well, it doesn't matter if you love that guy, like I love Martial and Pogba. I will criticize them, and that's how it should be. This is the issue, man. People got favourites, and they don't want to criticize them. And then on the flip side, they say, "Oh, Ollie's got the favourites. He wants to pick so and so." Well, you got favourites that you never criticize, so that's kind of double standards. But for me personally, regarding the Burnley game, first and foremost, look, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be difficult. The only thing that matters, well, two things. First and foremost, who's getting the 3 points. And the second thing is these mans getting relegated. The shittest club since Stoke City. Deadly. I see someone, I think it was, I don't remember his the guy that does the animation, the football animation, that started 21 something. He said the Concussion FC. He was right. They Concussion FC, man. It was flipping spot on when I seen that shout out to him.
I mean, you saw at the end of the game, do you see the blood gashing from Pogba's leg or something? I was like, these guys actually went to of these man.
It was a fight, man. Like, these guys wanted a fight.
Well, some of these top brands will rate him now.
They picked the wrong fight, Sean, because Eric Bailly was starting and man is ready for a tussle, mate. Listen, you'd love to see it. At the end of the day, they deserve to get relegated and we deserve the W, mate. I don't care what anyone rival fans say.
I mean, one thing I would discuss in this, and bits and Bob, man, thank you for joining the stream, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
guys.
Wait, man.
Was that Maguire? Was that a foul? Was that actually a foul on Maguire for that goal? Was that actually a foul?
Nah, not at all. It was presence, bro. It was presence. Like, Harry Maguire has been heading the ball every simple corner, and the one time he actually scores with it, he gets a foul. He just wanted it more. That was it. He just wanted it more. And the ironic thing, he gets a foul like that against one of the most muscle and bustle team against Burnley.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We're all their goals.
I mean, listen, it is what it is. I'm just happy, yeah, that he's still trying to get into the box, trying to head the ball and stuff. Because I've criticized him, I still do it now, but I also praise him. And you know, he's proven a lot of people wrong, and good, because it makes me happy. It makes me happy, bro. We're top of the league, man. Like, what's going on, boys? We're top of the league.
Yeah.
Certain men looked at me, called me crazy.
Listen, it's January, all right? Don't get ahead of me. When we lose to Liverpool on the weekend, this is getting clipped, brother. We're being played.
No.
Takers as well.
Do you know why the Burnley win was really good? Is because we this might trigger a few people, and it's not too trigger anyone, but we actually showed progress in those 90 minutes because in the first half we played really bad. Second half, PE teacher Frodo Baggins, he'd done it all, and we came out. We looked like a different animal, different beast. He's obviously, he said something, and the fact that Paul Pogba played well, that other players, came to the party. It was just really good to see, to be like, yo, we've got our Man United back. And obviously, look, people are going to clip this up, saying like, oh, we're back, blah, blah. What for me was just that we battled, we fought, we actually tried to play football, And did anyone notice that Ollie picked Matic instead of McFred? Do you know why? Well, in my opinion, I think it's because the physical and the height and the aerial battle. And if you look at Matic and Pogba, they are big boys. They're big, tall boys. And if you do a box with Pogba, Matic, you've got Maguire and Bailly. Oi, no one's trying to rumble with those guys.
I think I was saying to Usman in the preview that for 20 minutes of the first half, I don't think the ball was even on the field.
Yeah, it wasn't.
All the time, heading the ball up, kick the ball up.
Jordan and that. Flipping it. It was just constant. It was proper Sunday league football from their perspective. But that's what you expect from them. That's why they need to get relegated, because they're a dead club and dead fans. Racist manager as well. I know Bob's knows what one. But listen, at the end of the day, we got the 3 points. As Bob said, we battled. The best thing about it was the fact that we fought for that victory, and every single one of those players in the dressing room, from our perspective, are going to be sat there and they're going to be buzzing because they know they've got everything that had to get the 3 points. And they're the kind of wins that players will remember, man. Even as fans, obviously we prefer to win 5-0, but that game and the Wolves game, it just means more, man, because it's like the Wolves game, you didn't expect us to win in the end. We got a lucky goal in the end. But this goal, you could just tell it meant a lot to the players. And who better than PP, man?
Exactly.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
Exactly. And I mean, before we move on to Liverpool, because I obviously know people's shoot up, but we'll go on to Liverpool preview. One of the things, and I'll go to Sean for this, is that especially going to this Liverpool game, and even for United's ambitions going forward, I'm still seeing a lot of fans say, and even rival fans say, Manchester United struggle against small teams, or Manchester United struggle to break teams down, or Manchester United inconsistent. Can we at least put some of that? Can you at least put some of that to the sword now, given the types of teams we played against, given the fact that we've been unbeaten away all season, given the fact that we are where we are? Is it reasonable to say, look, hang on a minute, that's not true now?
Well, for me, where it's not true, I still see there's some validity in the argument in sometimes our style of play and what we're trying to do. Okay. I think where we can put it to bed is that now it seems to be working and we're getting results. So we're consistently beating these teams. We may not be playing all the way we want to play yet, but we are consistently beating these teams. And I feel a key to us beating these teams more and playing even better football is the fact that Harry Maguire, beside Eric Bailly, looks like, I dare say, a world-class potential center back. He needs someone beside him who can free him up to do certain things, because center back partnerships are just that, they're a partnership. And listen, Maguire looks bang average beside Vic, because they are too similar in some of their frailties and weaknesses. Where Eric Bailly just changes the whole complexity of Manchester United, in that we even push further forward. You see Maguire playing way further forward. Our line gets higher. Our attack becomes better when we have the safety of man like Desai step outside Eric Bailly, like I said on his channel. Eric Bailly is the guy, man, when he's healthy. And so I feel like ultimately where we've turned a corner is when we keep certain players fit. Like, you know, we were saying about the Burnley match. People say, well, Pogba doesn't put in shifts like that. Yes, he does. I've seen him put in tons of shifts like that in the last few years. The difference is now he's playing with guys like Bruno instead of Andreas Pereira. It's a big difference. You know what I mean? We don't like to take that into consideration. They want to say, well, all he needs better players. Well, so does players need better players. And so the fact is, you can't have it both ways, that all he needs better players to do certain things, but yet say Pogba's been trashed for years when he's a Maserati, been playing with Fiats. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when you look at it, Matic played phenomenal. I felt if it wasn't for the Pogba goal, I would have gave Matic man of the match.
He was man of the match, to be fair.
Yeah, I thought he was great. So I mean, overall, I'm like this. I want United to do well. I have feelings about the manager, but I want him to keep changing, keep growing, and keep proving us wrong. But for me, you know, I just feel like Manchester United is such a massive job, such a massive club. We never want people that's learning on the job. We just feel that we want the best potential person for it. Right now, you can't argue with the results that Ole's getting, and long may it continue.
Well, if he's a PE teacher, he's certainly fast becoming a head teacher. He's a PE teacher pretty quickly, you know.
I don't know what you guys call them over in the UK and in Europe, but we call them substitute teachers here.
Substitute, yes.
Yeah, he's graduated from substitute all the way past the full-time PE teacher. He may become a headmaster one day. Let's just hope it happens.
Well, bro, if he goes to Anfield and beats Liverpool and beats Liverpool's record, and we'll switch to this, just go to this now, because guys, this is, I guess I said at the start of the show, I can't remember, I don't know if you guys remember, like, has there actually been a bigger game in terms of the Liverpool United rivalry in the Premier League era from a title point of view than this game? Because I can't think of one.
That's a good question.
Can anyone think of one?
Not since I've been following since the late 90s.
Liverpool have never really been competing for the title. That's the problem.
Are we talking about
games?
Liverpool?
Games.
Are we just talking Liverpool, not Arsenal? Because remember that game at Old Trafford when Will Todd scored that goal? That was a bit of a magnitude for the league. But regarding Liverpool, I don't think it has, because we need to remember, guys, that 31 years they've only won one league. For people that didn't hear me, I said 31 years they've only won one league.
I hope Mike's watching.
This one for you, one time, bro. One time.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, listen, it's massive. Do you know why it's massive? Because look, we've all criticized Ole. We've also praised them and stuff. The funny thing is that, like, call him a PE teacher, call him Frodo, call him whatever you want, but look where he is right now, right? The season that's been, you know, if you'd said to us a couple of months ago, you know, we were going to be top by New Year, no, but I think it is magnitude, because Klopp, the world-class manager, surely can't lose to Ole. Surely not at home, not at Anfield. Surely not. So for them, we can draw and we'll still be top by 3 points. That's so the pressure is not, in my opinion, the pressure is not on us. The magnitude of the game, you know, media-wise, all these media people, old school Liverpool fans. You've got the new generation of media who are like looking to see Man United come back to dominance, and then you have. I'll be back.
That's cute. Oh God! Right. Okay, I'll just take off from there.
Yeah, go for it, man.
In terms of that was so cute. In terms of the magnitude of the game, look, it is huge. I do agree with Bob's in the sense that look, I'm not saying we can lose this game and get away with it, but the pressure is on Liverpool really because they're at home. They've got this record at Anfield, the fortress, so to speak. It's a huge benefit to us that the Rats, or the fans as they call them, aren't in the stadium. So obviously, it's going to be beneficial in that sense to us. For me personally, right, there's not really much pressure on us going into this game. As Bob has rightly said, no one expects us to be here. A lot of our fan base didn't expect us to be, me included, in that. And we go into that game just needing a point, really. I know Man City have got a game in hand; they can overtake us. But in the grand scheme of things, are Man City going to go to Anfield and win there? Probably not. Obviously, they got to play Liverpool as well. So I'll take a point and just move on to the next game, which is a Villa, I believe. No, Fulham. Sorry, Fulham.
So what do you think guys think is the key to win this game? Because obviously, one of the things that I did before and after entry was that I looked at the team that we put out when we lost last year. I think we played a 3-4-3. We had De Gea in goal. We had Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw as the three centre backs. Then we had Wan-Bissaka and Brandon Williams to push on. We then played, I think, Fred and Matic. Because Tommy was injured and Pogba was injured and Rashford was injured, and then so we played Martial and James up top. So that was how we played. We lost obviously 2-0. And obviously Liverpool side was their strongest.
Well, they scored last minute, didn't they? Where Salah thought he's a bad man, didn't he? So
now the reverse is obviously true. Where United going into this team, a very strong team. I think we only have queries on Martial with hamstring, I think, and.
Martial's not injured, man. He's got that disease called missing a sitter.
He's
not injured, man. He's not injured. He's waffling, man. There's no way he's injured.
But the big thing is Liverpool, because Liverpool obviously none of their centre backs. I don't think Matip looks like he's not going to be fit for the game either. So Liverpool are effectively going to be playing a centre back of Fabinho and probably either Henderson or Reece Williams. I think it is.
Yeah, so, that Williams kid's poor, man.
Bro.
He's slow as well.
If Reece Williams plays alongside TAA and Rashford runs at those, I genuinely think we can win at Anfield. If Klopp
don't get big ass.
I think he can, but I guess what I'm saying is how do we get a result at Anfield? Based on how he sets up, based on he plays, how do you guys think we actually go to Anfield and get a result?
Sean, do you want to take this or do you want me to go?
Well, I think what he's going to do is, this is the track record that Ollie's shown us since he's been manager. I think that what he'll do is set up to keep it tight and ultimately look to hit them on the break and score. I think that as much as I would love to say, yeah, we're going to switch everything up and go 4-3-3 and bomb one and attack them, I don't see that happening. Now, the crazy thing is, can you sit back? There's an argument to be made that against this Liverpool side with their current form, you could sit back and hold them to nothing because they have struggled for goals. The problem with that is they're due to have a breakthrough, right? We don't want it to be against us. So will Ollie be more expansive and go all guns blazing? I don't think so. However, I feel like if he played that way with their makeshift backline, listen, I could see us winning a high-scoring game. I don't think that's what it'll be. I know we'll do score predictions later, but this is the type of game that's weird for me because I literally think anything could happen. I don't see it have to go one way.
I see it go one way. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
I don't agree, Sean. I've got to be honest with you. I think what's going to happen is they're going to be on job. They're going to press us very high from minute one, like they did against Man City and Tottenham. You've got to look at Liverpool's performances against the better teams or the teams that matter, so to speak. I compared it to the lower teams. Against the lower teams, or the teams that you expect them to beat, like the Fulham, the West Broms, them teams, they come at the blocks very slow. Don't get me wrong, they still have a bit of quality about them, of course they do, but they do look a bit more lethargic. They don't seem to be on it. But when they played against Spurs and Man City, both the first halves, they were brilliant in terms of the pressing. I know they didn't win either of those games, but obviously they won Spurs later on. But against Spurs, it should have been 4-0 up first half. Against Man City, they could have been 3-0 up as well. They were literally on them. And my issue is we haven't got. If Bailly starts, which I want him to, our ability to pass the ball at the back is dog shit at times, and it does worry me.
The only thing I would say to those games is one, obviously, Liverpool's personnel is obviously different going into this game than it was against Spurs, especially the centre back.
It was the same. It was the same.
They had Matip though. I think Matip was Matip.
No, it was practically the same. The approach in the Man City game and the Spurs game, they pressed very high up the pitch on both of the games in the first 25, 30 minutes. Like, okay, fair enough, the defense might have been shit, but that doesn't really affect the way they approach
I think the key to that is Henderson. I guess what I'm saying is the key to that is being, and I only say this because I watched the Southampton game, I think the previous game, and one of the keys to what you're saying is actually Henderson in the midfield. So one of the things that I think might be an issue going to this game, I don't know, is that if obviously Henderson has to play a centre back, and obviously Thiago coming in, see what happens, but you really only have Thiago, Wijnaldum, and then Milner is going to then come in their midfield. So there is going to, I don't think you're going to necessarily see, I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I don't think you necessarily see that same intensity if Jordan Henderson has to play as centre back alongside Fabinho.
I hope you're right.
Well, do you think do you think it's more, the question comes in with what Usman's saying, is it a personnel issue with them, or is it we play to the level of our competition type situation? Because sometimes
I think it's their mentality. Like,
I think
because every time they've had to step up,
this
look good against them.
So I interrupt you guys. Indiana makes a very good point. This is again something that's missing. Cavani with his movement, playing against two midfielders and CB, should be able to drag them on like
hopefully.
That is, I think, a very, very big point, because Henderson, to be honest, someone like Son was garbage as a centre back from a positional point of view.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not like they conceded, but from a positional point of view, and they're going to be playing up against an actual number 9. On top of the fact that you're going to have Rashford running at maybe TAA or Reece or Henderson, and on the other side, in my opinion, I would actually start, controversial, but maybe start James.
I think Dan James is within a shout, to be fair, for this game,
because you know that Liverpool are not going to be compact. They're not going to be pragmatic. So we know we are going to have space. If we are going to counter, you can use those two on top of Cavani and number 9 bullying the defenders and cause them back and cause some problems. I don't know what. It's Neeks in the background. Yo, Neeks, man, how you doing?
Yeah, man, I got bare streams today. Just coming for Football Terrace. And I got the football dugout in 15 minutes. So I can't.
Bro, I've got one in 5 minutes as well. So
Give me your quick thoughts, Neeks, because you have to head off on Liverpool United and what you expect going into this game, how Ollie will set up, etc.
I think we'll set up in a 4-2-3-1. I'm not even sure if we've got enough centre backs to play a back 5, and I don't want us to play a back 5.
No.
We can play on the counter without playing 5 at the back, but giving us enough options in the midfield and up front to make sure we can take advantage. Liverpool are struggling at the moment, and we need to take advantage of it. I don't expect us to win because they haven't lost at Anfield for 3 years. So to expect us to win is probably
but Nick's Arsenal undefeated in 49 games.
No, I know. Listen. But it's a bar that I would say, because if I expect it and they don't achieve it, I would say they failed. But what I do expect is us to obviously have a good game, create chances, and hopefully take those chances. But I also respect the fact that, yes, Liverpool's been on this bad run, but they're not going to remain on it forever. Sunday, if they turn up and they're at their best, it's going to be very, very difficult for us. So I can't just look at our form and say, well, because we're on this form, we should be doing it. Liverpool could, they got Salah, they got Mane, they've got Thiago's back, they've got world-class players and a world-class manager. But I want us to kind of ride the wave that we've been on for the last few months and continue the form that we've been on and have a go. I don't want us to be trapped on the edge of our area, clearing balls from the first minute. A last minute block in the last 5-10 minutes is fine, but not in minute 5, minute 7. All that. I don't want to see that. I want us to see us have a go.
Neeks, a quick question: when do you think the last time United lost away from home was?
Last time we lost away from home, that has to be in the league. That has to be before Bruno, because we were unbeaten from when Bruno came.
Bro, it was at Anfield. It was at Anfield.
Oh, yeah, of course, 2-0. Yeah.
So
nearly a year to the day.
We've not been unbeaten at home, and that's even more why this is a big game, because it could literally change the season if we were to get a dub here or get a point here. But sorry, go on.
I think if we get a point, City have to be made favourites. I expect them to win on the weekend. I'm not sure who they're playing, but their run is like 5-6 games.
Like Brighton, Fulham,
yes, something like that. So I expect them. They'll go above Liverpool anyway if Liverpool drop points. But I think the first goal is so important. If we get the first goal, I can see us getting 2 or 3 on the day, because Liverpool, I said, their form is bad. Their confidence must be bad. If they got bloody 12-year-old Barry running through their defense and scoring. I want to see Rashford, whether it's against Nat Phillips, Reece Williams, or Henderson. I want us to roast that centre back. And if we get the first goal, I think we win. If they get the first goal, I can't see us winning, because they're gonna dominate the ball, they're gonna dominate territory. We can get back and get a draw, but if they get the first goal, a win's gonna be hard. But you know what? It's not even about being defeated or anything like that. But I would take a draw. Because Anfield's not easy. It's really not.
No, yeah, I'd agree. And before you guys, I think Usman, you have to head off, and Neeks, you have to head off. Is that correct?
In about 10 minutes. 10 minutes for me.
I've got about 4 minutes. I don't even know what time it is to us.
Cool. So who do you think should? I don't think we have to look at the centre. I assume everyone thinks here that Maguire and Bailly have to start as a centre-back pairing.
Absolutely.
I think anyone agrees. And presumably people think that Shaw and Wan-Bissaka should start. We're in agreement there?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So I think the issue then comes with, although, there could be an argument for Telles and across, but anyway. But from the midfield, I think the big question is, do you go with a Matic and a Pogba, or a Fred or Pogba, or do you go with McFred, basically, in this type of game? I think that's the big question.
I think Matic is injured, to be honest. I don't think he's even in contention.
Oh, he came up. Yeah, he had a little strain in the last game.
He pulled his groin, didn't he? So he'll be out for at least a week.
Okay.
To be honest, like, I was speaking to I can't remember, I might have been Kojo, and we were saying we could probably play the diamond, but for me personally, a diamond against Liverpool is not going to work.
No,
because their main attacking threats are all the wings.
Exactly.
So I think that would be that would be suicide. So it's gonna have to go 4-2-3-1. It's difficult to leave Pogba out. That's the thing. Like, he's such a quality player.
You play Pogba. You might play if Martial is injured.
You could potentially put Pogba left wing. That's the only thing I'm thinking, because like, he can't really play Pogba with McTominay, because McTominay's not good enough, and he can't play Pogba with Fred because Fred's not good enough defensively. So
really is Liverpool's midfield isn't. To be fair, Thiago's there, but their creativity doesn't come from there. So if you match them for their work rate in that midfield, you kind of say, all right, we're even. Let's debate the rest of the pitch. Where can we?
Fred and McTominay
exactly. So you got Fred and McTominay in that midfield. Thiago's not going to do a man marking job on Bruno. So basically, you're saying Thiago from a deep position, Bruno from a number 10. You're effectively do your job, because no one's going to be man marking you unless you say, Bruno, just stick on Thiago. I can't see that happening personally. Okay. But if you say, Fred and McTominay, you match the work rate of Wijnaldum, and let's say Henderson's there, for example, then it goes wide. And if Martial's out, then I think it's a no-brainer to put Pogba wide left and put Rashford on the right and Cavani up front. However, if Martial's fit, I would still put Pogba wide left, because I think Pogba has to play. In the form that he's in, he has to play. Rashford on the right. Now, the question is, do you play Martial or do you play Cavani?
Cavani.
I don't know. I generally would play Rashford against Trent on the left, because
they can move, they can switch.
Switch around.
But I take that point.
Pogba free roll, I'd say, and just let him wander in it. Really.
India says, I've been telling you from last season, Neeks, Leicester will finish third this season. City favourites IMO, and he says start with McFred, have Pogba off the bench. And Mo says start Fred and Pogba with VDB on the right. Mo, VDB is not going to start. Not going to
get that.
Nowhere close.
It's not going to happen.
Not starting this game, brother. Sorry to break it.
If Van der Beek comes off the bench, he's had a good game, isn't it?
If Van der Beek comes off the bench and scores a winner, can you imagine the free Danny tweets? These ones are going to be. Oh God.
The thing is. Sorry, go on.
I was about to say, Neeks, I think I agree with you. I think Pogba, for me, has to start this game. He's been our best player, really, or one of the best players in the last couple of games, quite comfortably. And I think he's shown further up the pitch is a match winner. You need match winners. You got Bruno and Pogba on the pitch at the same time. It's going to be difficult for their makeshift defense. And for me personally, right, the way we're going to beat them is getting the ball in behind them, like consistently. I want to see Cavani, Rashford play like Inzaghi on the shoulder. Please stay outside, Rashford, for the love of God, man. Stay outside.
My man was born offside.
Like Inzaghi, ball bloody on the line and just play the ball in behind.
There was no VAR in Inzaghi's day. There was no VAR back then.
Exactly. About 50 goals, but yeah, keep playing the ball in behind. Tell Rashford, listen, I want you to run out their defenders every time you get the ball, similar to what he did against Everton. Sorry, he was absolutely brilliant in that game. Get the ball, run out Henderson, run out whoever's in the defense. Trent can't defend. He's probably still got nightmares from that Ronaldo job that Rashford hit him with when he banged into the top corner. So save again, man. Just get the ball in behind, man. Let's cause them some problems.
The reason why
I want to just jump on something Neek said because, I hope this isn't being recorded because I know people are going to be posting this and tagging me and all kinds of stuff. But I'm about to say something for me that's reckless, right? Because everyone knows how I feel about McPassion. But I think this might be a game for McPassion. This might be one of those games that you bring in. If this comes down to a midfield battle when it comes to industry, kicking people, kissing badges, and it's not about tech, flair, skill at all, and it's that type of match, then these are the type of matches I don't mind seeing Scott. My problem when people think I'm a Scott hater, it's not that. It's just when it comes down to putting him over certain players, I just don't see what he offers at all except this. He understands the club. He loves the club. He gets the rivalry. And he's a guy that will work his socks off and kick people. And we know that Hendo Nino and whatever, that guy's overrated, man. Yeah. This dude is a kicking machine. This is what he does. He kicks people. So put Scott in there with him. Let's see a battle.
Sean, sorry to interrupt you before you go to point. Like, for me, one of the key things going into this game is actually going to be how Klopp, with the fact that, like, they don't have any of their first choice defenders because Matip is going to be out, etc. Who is going to play in Liverpool's defense? Who's going to play in midfield? Because if it's going to be like Southampton, where he doesn't trust Reece Williams and he puts Henderson alongside Fabinho, then you now have a makeshift midfield because then you only have Thiago, if he's fit, because he's still coming back, Wijnaldum, and then Milner.
What about Naby Keita? Terry calls him baby Keita.
Is he? I can't remember.
Or there's Curtis Jones.
Klopp is rattled.
Curtis Jones, but you know what I mean. They'll have even more of a makeshift midfield than even we will be, and I think that might potentially sway the game in our favor. But sorry,
I think you'll put Henderson in midfield. I think it's a bigger detriment to have both Fabinho and Henderson out of the midfield than to have them both at centre back.
You think he'll play Reece Williams?
Or Nat Phillips, or probably Reece Williams because I think whoever's quicker. Whichever's quicker, he'll play that one. But I don't think either of them are very quick. But I think because Henderson can easily, still at centre back, get burnt by one of our forwards. But at least you've got him in the midfield to offer something going forward. Whereas if you have him at centre back, who are you going to put in midfield? You lose out on two positions.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what if for me. If I see on that team sheet Henderson alongside Fabinho, then I'm like, okay, this might be, we might be able to get something going. Even if I see Reece Williams there, I'm still thinking if Rashford's there, I might get something going. But bits and bobs, mate. Bro, how do you see this? How do you see this going down? How do you see Ole Gunnar sort of setting up here?
Sorry, thanks for your patience, guys.
No worries, man. You need to put your kid to bed.
Yeah. So basically, I think this is the way it's going to go. Yeah, Liverpool are going to dominate possession. Probably they're going to do the Duracell battery settings, run. However, I think it depends on who starts centre back for me. If Fabinho starts there and it's Henderson, I think I'm confident. However, midfield wise, as much as I love Paul Pogba, I don't think we play him central. I think we put him out on the left, isolate him. With shout out to Rance because I watched Rance and he called Trent Alexander Jermaine Pennant or something. So and I was like busting with him. So like Rance, but get Pogba one-on-one with Trent, because I think Pogba can track. He can. He's not the best, but he can track. But Trent likes to cross them deep, so I'm not really going to see Trent hit the byline. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not really worried about that. I think McFred has to play. Because what they do, they'll act as a shield, and also they're tenacious.
Do you think he might do like a PSG, for example, and do like a 3-5-2 thing where he plays a short Ryan, or do you think he'll go with the 4-2-3-1?
I think we also ourselves as Man United, we need to be consistent and fluid, and okay, we respect Liverpool. Look, we're not saying they're not a good team. They obviously are a good team, and on the counter attack or even in the blink of an eye, they can punish you. However, we've got players as well. We need to believe in ourselves, and I think if we just be smart about it, let's not isolate Pogba in that midfield, because as much as I love him, he's not the guy to go boom, 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 boom. No, he's not going to do that. He's going to go at his own pace, at his own style. So let's put him where he's effective. I know I saw in Diana comment saying that get him off the bench. Maybe that is a thing. However, for me, maybe Cavani is probably best coming off the bench. So maybe, get Pogba on that left. Rashford and Martial just interchanging. Why is it our front three? No one talks about it. Our front three can interchange.
But they do. I think even in the last game we had, like, I think Rashford was started on the right, then he ended up on the left, then he actually got the assist from the right. Like that's normal for us. I did say the point earlier. I said Martial or Cavani. Now I know obviously Indiana's in the comments and he would 100% say Cavani. If we get a chance, and we should get chances, I wanted to fall to Cavani more than Martial, especially in this sport. Alisson is a world-class keeper. You have to be on your job if you're going to score past him. But Martial's hold-up play and link play cannot be discounted. And if we're going to be playing on the counter, which I expect we are, we're going to need the ball to go up there, stick, and people to join him. Now, I'm not saying Cavani can't link, but since he's been here, and from what I've seen of Cavani, he's much more, and he can do it, but he's much more of a running behind. He likes and I'm not talking about pace, but the movement of on the shoulder. Whereas Martial is going to get the ball, he's going to hold it up, and he might even turn and run at his man. So I don't think there's any right or wrong decision between the two of them. But what I would say is Cavani off the bench, for me, is more dangerous than Martial off the bench.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Listen, if Neeks was a pastor, I'd be asking where to send the honorarium right now. This is the way I see it. It all comes down to how Ollie's going to set us up. If I'm 100% in agreement. If it's going to be this counterattack thing and we're going to play safe and look to hit them and get out into space, man like Sonic might get to play. Shout out to G. But also, when you have Tony there, the ball sticks to him. And so we know Liverpool are going to press high. We know that they're going to press a certain way. If we need that outlet pass, the ball to stick, it's Tony. But if we are going to go more on the front foot, be more expansive, look to straight beat them, then it's Cavani, because Cavani's movement is going to get, if they've got a backup center backs everywhere, he's going to give them fits. Man like Tarzan's going to be all over the place, swinging from vines. People are not ready for what he's got to offer, because he's going to be putting his head in, doing bits. I'm telling you, he's going to move things around. Listen, we're not ready. They're not ready for that. And here's the thing about Ollie, man, and this is what people got to remember too, when they really slate people over the last few years. We got options now we haven't had before, right? Yeah. People say, "Oh, look at this Pogba. Look at this Pogba." Like I said earlier, we got Bruno now, not Andreas. You see what I'm saying? So our quality as a squad has went up. And so now there's different ways, different formulas that Ollie can use to get a result. And that's what I want to see happen. A result by hook or by crook. I don't care if he plays one at the back. If we get a result, I'm good with it.
Well, I've told people, I'm like, bro, if it's 0-0 and we get a penalty in the 90th minute.
Let's go.
I'm Bruno.
I want a dodgy pen. Because I want
drink the tears. Drink the tears.
I just want to drink
it. Just
listen, guys, I got to head off. I got to go on the football.
Yeah. I don't want to keep cutting out as well, man. But yeah.
So, Eminem says, I would say with two midfielders in CB, Cavani takes them out of the game, gives Bruno more space as he'll be on target. I agree. What are your score predictions? How do you think that, before we've gone to the last topic, how do you see this ending?
3-1 Man United.
You're going for a win.
I'm telling you, I just think if we score early and then we go 2-0 up, they will try and damage limitations, because they won't go gun-ho against us, because that's what we want, And with their shaky back four. Look on their left-hand side, Scott Robson, shout out Scotland captain.
Yeah.
I'm confident he'll probably manage Rashford. But on the opposite side, if you're playing Henderson or even
playing on the right though.
Yeah. So I'm confident if they try and attack, we're going to hit them. And I just think we've got 3 goals in us. You know. But listen, G, I'm just gonna take my camera off.
No problem, man. No problem. Sean, man, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I think it's good. This is what I want to see happen. Obviously, is I'd love to see us just slap them. However, I just feel like it's going to be one of those situations. I'm having this gut feeling it's going to be kind of like our first match with City, where neither team really wants to really make a big mistake here. I think the pressure's more on Liverpool because Klopp's already feeling it. He's out talking nonsense in the media about our penalties and all this kind of stuff. When the truth is, if you took all penalties away from all the stats I'm seeing, if you took penalties away this season, we'd still be ahead of them. They'd be in like 10th. So ultimately, penalties have benefited their club better this season than ours. For me, I feel like it'll be 1-1, and something's going to happen at the end. What I need to have happen is 1-1, a dodgy penalty in about the 86th minute. Bruno steps up, buries a penalty, and we just drink tears. That's what I need to happen. So I'm going to 2-1 win. Fair
enough. So it just goes to show you the change. Whatever you say about Barcelona's team, that has happened in a year. Because this time last season, I think a lot of United fans were like, where's Bruno? What's going on? The team is useless. Dante Pereira, etc., not good enough, etc. And now a year since that point, and we've been undefeated, like I said, away from home in the league since Anfield. We're literally going to Anfield being like, we could potentially get a result from here. So I think that's credit to basically everyone at Manchester United.
Yeah, for me, G, I've been saying this for weeks. For weeks, everyone's been, we're going to win the league, and I said, well, I'll really get into that discussion after the Liverpool match because I want to see where we're at and what's happened. And for me, this is a huge match. Not that if we lose it, we're out of the title race. It's not that. It's I want to see mentality and how we stand up, how Ole coaches, because so far in the biggest games, semifinals and such, we have a tendency to slide back into some bad things. And for me, with the manager, it's all about progression as well. I want to see is he really learning, growing, and changing? Because I don't think there's a United fan alive that doesn't want the manager to do well and turn it around and be the next Sir Alex. It's not about that at all. If you're that far gone that no matter what Ole does, he could change everything and be prime Sir Alex and you won't care, then that's just an agenda. For me, my agenda is that I want United to win. And so no matter what happens, that's what I'm on. And I just feel like this is a type of game where it can be a statement game, not only for the rest of the league, but for our club, for the team, for those guys playing in that locker room. When they go in after that match, if they come up with a great result and say win in convincing fashion, I believe we are seriously in a race now because they'll start to really believe, and that's what matters.
Yeah. I agree. And I freaking love the Smith says, I see a draw just because the biggest games tend to be cagey, hoping for a win, but I think Ole will go more defensive. And to be honest, that's expected. I mean, Guardiola did that at the Etihad, against when Liverpool came. So I don't think if he sets up that way and we got a draw, I don't think any United fan would be like, how could you, Ole? How dare you, Ole, sets up for a draw against Anfield? I mean, that's, I think, a reasonable way. And even if we lose the game, but we still play with some it's a marginal loss, for example. As you said, I still think that people say, okay, you know what? Let's reassess things, but we are where we are, But just moving on quickly to the final topic, really, we round up, and it's basically just January transfers. I'm sure you guys saw my tweet a few days back where I was like, where the hell are these January transfers? Why aren't we, at least whatever you say on Ole or what your thoughts are, he should at least be getting some backing in the January in areas that we are weak in, like a centre-back, DM, whatever, to strengthen the team so that you can give him the best chance of at least winning something. And instead, we've got a signing that we made in the summer and effectively silence. It's just a simple question, guys. Do you guys think that we're actually going to sign anyone this month, or is Ollie just going to have to make do till summer?
I don't think, in my opinion, from this time, not this time, well, nearly this time last year, we got Bruno. Bruno was a gem, wasn't he? It was forced because we got injuries to Pogba and McTominay. I think to do business this month, economically, financially, it's got to make so much sense. Okay. We've obviously took a punt on Diallo.
We paid 37 million for this guy. It's got to be more than the punt.
Well, no, I think the initial thing's like 18 or something like that. Actually, it raises up. I know what you're saying, though. I know
it's more than Dan James that we paid for him, and he got a buy into this team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be tough to maneuver over signing. I don't see it personally. I'd love to see Basuma and Ben White at the club personally. I think if you just went to Brighton and said, "Look, there's 50 million, give us both of them," I'd love to see Basuma because I think Basuma is more a realistic target than Ndidi personally. But no, we're not. That's to answer your question. No, we're not going to say anyone else.
What do you think, Sean, man?
I think we're missing a huge opportunity, and I don't want to sound immoral here because I know we have all these ultimate football Twitter watchers and moral high ground people. But let's face it, certain leagues right now, especially the French league, have been in serious trouble because of the COVID pandemic, right? It's affected everyone. But some leagues affected even more than others. And the French league, some of the teams, people say, well, you go after their players because they're hurting. Well, yeah, but it also could help keep their club afloat to sell a player. So, for example, we had this young guy everyone was talking about was Badiashile, right? We need a left-footed center back that's quick. He might be one that they wanted, 25, 30 million for him. We might be able to get him for 14. You never know. So I think we should be trying to take advantage of this window and bring in someone maybe lesser known to help bolster the squad because Ollie has shown us that he deserves to have some backing. And I don't feel like he got the players that he really wanted in the summer. And so I feel like this is one of my biggest problems with the guy to begin with. I was like, if you're not going to back him, sack him and bring someone you will, because that's what we need, a director of football and someone that will be backed.
What did Lampard show last season? Like evidence-wise,
but that's a different ownership, man.
It's a different ownership, yeah.
Those guys are playing to win. Right? They want to win. Our guys are playing to run a business and make money. It's two different situations when it comes to ownership. Yeah. So, but here's the thing: the ownership is missing a boat here because of a little bit of investment and a little bit of good fortune. We could win this league and give a big return for them.
Exactly.
On less funds, and I think Ollie deserves that. Ollie should have, and again, everyone knows I'm not like Ollie in, Ollie out. No, I'm not that guy at all. But at the end of the day, if we're going to keep him, he needs to be backed, and we could put a run together for the rest of this league and possibly do something.
No, I agree. I mean, like I said, it's just like we've not been in this situation essentially since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And so part of me would have felt, so seeing as we're not in a situation, you'd think that the hierarchy, the board would be like, you know what? Let's also buy into the hype. Let's also go and ride the train and back and push and fight, etc. But there's literally nothing. There's silence. It's just kind of like this time last season, we were linked with Haaland, didn't get that, but thankfully we got Bruno who made a difference. And so now you're thinking, personally for me, I would actually like a right back to actually challenge Wan-Bissaka. Not necessarily a first choice, but right to challenge him so that, one, he can have a rest because he's been playing too many games, but also, two, someone who can go forward. And because in my mind, if you have like anyone that can go forward, to be honest, and give a crossing more, then suddenly United are more dangerous. Because
Brighton, G. Just go to Brighton and give them 60 million for Lamptey, Basuma. There you go.
Who's that Norwich kid that we were linked with? Who
Max Aarons?
Max Aarons something. So to be honest, I would just like anyone that could basically defend semi-decently, but can go forward and put in a good cross. Because that will already improve our team massively because we'll have at least more creativity from that right-hand side, and Cavani, who's playing, will get more service.
Yeah.
As opposed to just relying on either Shaw, Telles, or Rashford to do stuff to supply Cavani, because right now we are starving. Whoever plays that 9 role is being starved of creative service, at least from the wings, unless Bruno or Pogba do something. So Bruno, Pogba off game, there's no one else really aside from maybe a good ball from Shaw or Telles. Am I making sense, or is that?
No, I feel like one thing we've struggled with for a while is getting real production from our fullbacks when it comes to offensive production. It wasn't until people started talking about Poch that Luke Shaw started getting assists, because he knows Poch make you run like crazy. He wasn't feeling that. He turned into Roberto Carlos quick. At the end of the day, I feel like we do need someone to push Wan-Bissaka. I think that ultimately having a better option up front ahead of him, who is more of a natural right-sided player, would help him immensely as well. That's why I feel like the club missed the boat with Jadon. Or hopefully, and everyone talks about Diallo. We don't know what we're getting here, and he's a kid, but at least he's a left-footed player that plays on the right, so he offers that inversion that could help Wan-Bissaka overlap and maybe get better. Because we know what Wan-Bissaka offers defensively when it comes to one-on-one defending, because positionally he's still a little suspect, but I don't know if that's not something that's not being corrected coaching as well. But also, I hate to say this, guys, because this sounds very Glazierish. It really does. But if he stays fit, Eric Bailly is like a new signing, because we haven't had this guy forever. I mean, he's a piece of the center back puzzle that we need if he stays fit, because this guy changes the way we play. He changes the way we look. He changes the way Harry Maguire looks. Harry Maguire looks like a proper player with him beside him. He really does. And so, for me, I just feel like the board's missing the boat, G. And I honestly I'm with Bob's. Do I think they'll buy anyone? No. But the only way we would be, the only reason we bought Bruno is because of injuries, and then people were singing about bonfires. Let's be real honest. People were lighting bonfires, and all of a sudden they started buying people. So ultimately, the fans signed Bruno Fernandes. Let's not forget that when the club refused to sign him in the previous window, what was the PR stuff they put out? Well, we gave him a good look, but he gives the ball away too much. Now all of a sudden we forget that in January, and they sign him and act like they made just this great signing. No, y'all had no intention of signing him. You had to because of injuries and because people were burning stuff. That was to shut fans up, and guess what? It works. This is our club's a PR machine. That's what they do. As soon as we have a bad result, what do? They the next day they got Amad Diallo's compilation video on their website. Look who we signed. You signed him back in the last window, and you signed him to go into under 23. Stop messing with us. So do I think they'll sign anybody? No, I don't.
Bro, that's what I was saying. That's why I say if there's going to be anything on Twitter going on right now from United fans, it should be addressed to the Glazers and Ed Woodward to pressure them. The things that you're saying.
All of our focus should be on there.
That's where the focus should be. It should be on.
I was raised with West Indians. We say them pagans. That's what they are.
Indiana says, I think a big part of the reason I was not putting the ball in box due to the strikes we had Marshall and Rashford not making the runs to those balls. That is true, and they do tend to drift out wide at sometimes. Whereas why I like Cavani is that Cavani, is a box. Well, no, the reason why I like Cavani and why I've been so impressed with him, it's not even just that he goes into the box and goes to the ball, he's good in the air, and etc. Position is good because he actually stays in the box. But to be honest, and this is kind of going back to the Burnley game, did you notice the amount of times he was good actually defensively? Coming back in the ball, we had set pieces, he went in, he cleared the ball, coming back into the midfield, trying to get a tackle in the ball. So he's not just staying up as a number 9 to just hold the ball up. He's actually coming back in and doing a good defensive job.
Like 6 foot plus or something. He's a big guy. Real talk, he's a big guy. And listen, man, he's an all-round. He's a centre forward, mate. Do you know what I mean? No disrespect to Rashford and Marshall. They're not a centre forward. They've not applied their trade centre forward. Look, Cavani. The thing about Cavani, he's a team player. People forget that when Mbappe and Neymar arrived, Cavani was playing off the right. If you went and watched your Ligue 1. So he is a team player. And also, do you know when you're playing in a team that's winning, normally you run that extra bit because you want to be seeing you do your part. So yeah, man. Look, let's just enjoy what's happening now, man. Like, you know, it's 2021, 21 and 21. But but like, you know, look, I think look, you know, I've said we can win the league and stuff. We're not stupid, you know. We know Liverpool, Man City, and so on, you know. However, we've not been in this position or to be able to enjoy a moment like this where there's no scandals with our players. There's no drama. We are top of the league. Probably one of the most talked about players sent us to the top of the league with a goal. You know, like, you know, I mean, it's nice right now, right? You know,
I almost feel we've been so devoid of this that United fans have actually forgotten how to experience this. Like, we were so used to it when we're winning, and now we've forgotten it. We're like, how do we really experience being top of the league and bantering rival fans? Like, I don't know what to do. It's weird. You know what I mean?
It's a thing where, like, for me, yeah, it's like I've seen Man United dominate. I've seen Arsenal come to the party and do their thing. I've seen Chelsea, you know, have a stunt. I've seen Man City have a cameo, and now I'm seeing Liverpool have a little cameo. And, you know, one thing that when we had Fergie, it was always the case of challenge accepted, and we you know, we take on the challenge. And we've had Moyes, Van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and we've still won trophies, okay? But we've not competed for the big one. To be in a position now where we are actually 3 points ahead of the defending champions, to be in a position where Liverpool are now actually having competition, to be in a position where Liverpool are looking up right now, and to go into Sunday, G and Sean, they have to win that game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They have to win that game. So they have to come at us. And knowing Ollie, if you do that, you get punished. So look, let's just enjoy the next few sleeps, you know. Let's enjoy the next few sleeps.
Yeah.
And to be honest, man, have you noticed nothing's came out of our team now that we're top of the league? Nothing. You know, Diallo's arrival has just came in. It's all good. You know, there's nothing. Timothy Mensah's left. It's all good. Good video of Pogba and Bailly and stuff. And I just think, it's clicked and it's clicking. And the last thing I'll say on this, guys.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I've been told that we're not even playing that well. You know, we're not even playing that well. So what's going to happen when Martial clicks? Greenwood clicks. Donny van de Beek has still got his own part to play in this. Come on, man. Like, you know, let's go.
I feel like we've seen the best of Eric Bailly, to be honest. I think Eric Bailly can go up another level in terms of proper outright adding to his game and stuff. So no, I agree.
100%.
Cool, guys. It's been a great show. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Do you guys want to just shout out your channels again just before we end? Just before we finish the stream?
Yeah, you could catch me at Sean at WWReds_show on that madness of toxicity that is football Twitter, or you can catch me over here at Worldwide Red Show. And as Usman likes for me to say, I'm just the Yank that you love to love.
I love that. Obviously, popular catchphrase on YouTube right now. Yeah. So what? It's your boy, Vincent Bobs. Listen, you can catch me on the YouTube Bits and Bobs. That's my Twitter handle right there. Make sure you subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Make sure you subscribe to Worldwide Red Show. And yeah, check me out. I'm also on the Terrace as well. You catch me there. You also catch me on Indiana's channel, the First 11 Fraud Watch. So check that out. Yeah, man. But G, thanks, man, for having me on, man. I know it's funny, but people won't know this, but the first ever show I was on YouTube was G's show.
It was, bro. And I'm given what you've been doing, bro. I'm glad it was, because you're doing a lot. Both of you, but you guys are doing a lot of great content, you know. So like, Up the Reds. Let's keep on going, man. And subscribe to these guys' channels, man. Seriously, you know. So subscribe, guys.
Blessings, everyone.